Class 8. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am back once again with your chemistry online class. I hope you have revised the tables on page numbers 78, 79 and 80, and you are still revising them because they are a very important part of your chemistry syllabus. You have to become very well versed in them. I had practiced the molecular formula of a compound, so I'll continue practicing it today also, and then move on to the exercise, and then how to write the chemical equation. So in my last lecture I told you about the molecular formula of a compound, that is, it is the symbolic representation of its molecule. What does it show? It shows how many atoms or the number of atoms of each element that are present in a particular compound. Is it clear? So if we are writing H2O, the molecular formula of water, that is showing what? That is showing that water contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Is that clear? So similarly, carbon dioxide, if we write, it shows that this particular compound contains one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen. So this will be a fixed formula. It will not vary whether water is stored in a water bottle or in a big tank. Is it clear? It will remain the same. The formula will remain the same, and these atoms will combine in this fixed ratio of 2:1. That is 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. 2:1 whenever this compound is formed. Is it clear? Similarly, for carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen will always combine in the ratio 1:2. Is that clear? Then I had given you a few examples, and I had shown you how to write the chemical formula of a compound. So I had taught you how to write the chemical formula of magnesium oxide. That is, how do we write the chemical formula of any compound that we have been given the name of a particular compound. Then first, what do? For this instance, that we write the symbols of the constituents of that particular compound. That is, in this case it is magnesium and oxygen are the two constituents of this compound. So what do? First we write the symbol, and the positive radical is written on the left side and the negative radical is written on the right side. Then we write the valencies of the radical below the symbols. So magnesium, represent it like this, +2 or 2 plus is the same thing, and oxygen is written as 2 minus, O2 minus. Then the valencies are 2 in both the cases, and then valencies are reduced to a simple ratio by dividing them with a common factor. Now after dividing with a common factor, what do? That we interchange the valencies. In this case, when it has been divided by common factor 2, then you can see you're dividing, that means 1 is there on both the sides, right? So we interchange the valencies, and we will not write it as Mg2O2. In fact, we will, because we have divided it by a common factor 2, so on both the sides the valency has been reduced to 1. So we write it as MgO. The formula is MgO. Similarly, I had practiced with other compounds as well, that is zinc sulfide and ammonium sulfate, and so on. So let me practice with some more today. So sodium Na, what will be the formula now? Na2SO4, because one we don't have to show like this. Is that clear? We will just write Na2SO4. Is it clear? So please practice, please learn the valencies and symbols properly so that it becomes easier for you. Now, what is the significance of these chemical formulae? They give the following information, that is, elements present in a given compound. They tell us that which elements are present in a particular compound. For instance, we say hydrogen sulfide, that means hydrogen and sulfur are present. And even the ratio that they are presented, that is the number of atom of each kind present in one molecule and their ratio, that is H2O. I have told you is that two hydrogen atoms combined with one oxygen atom, and they give water, that is they combine in a ratio, hydrogen oxygen combine in a ratio of 2:1 to give water. And similarly with other compounds as well. Mass of one molecule of a compound, right? So this chemical formula also gives you the mass of one molecule of a compound. This we will discuss later on, how it gives the mass. So the example of hydrogen sulfide is given. So we know that two different elements, namely hydrogen and sulfur, are present. That you can see H2S, we can see that two different elements, that is hydrogen and sulfur, are present in it, and they have combined in a ratio of 2:1, that is 2 hydrogen atom combined with 1 sulfur atom. So we can calculate the mass of hydrogen sulfide by adding the atomic masses of all the atoms present in it. So let's do it. That is, you have hydrogen sulfide, that is hydrogen and sulfur have combined in the ratio of 2:1. So we take the two atoms of hydrogen are there, so we take the atomic mass of hydrogen, that is 1. We know it has atomic mass of 1, and then add to 1 atom of sulfur, that is atomic mass of sulfur, that is 32. Is it clear? Then we total it. What do we get? We get it as 2 plus 32, that is 34. 34 AMU, this is the unit of the atomic mass unit. Is it clear? So let's practice it with one more compound, very simple compound. Then take it in the form of carbon dioxide, that is carbon, 1 atom of carbon, that is 1 into the atomic mass of carbon, that is 12, plus 2 atoms of oxygen into the atomic mass of oxygen, that is 16. So what will you get? You will get 12 plus 32, that is equal to how much? 44 AMU. Is it clear? So you can do it like this only, and you can practice it for other compounds as well. Is it clear? So this is the molecular mass of carbon dioxide. Now we have a table 6.6 on page 82 and 83. Now where the names of compounds, the formula and the constituent elements have been given. So you have to learn it properly so that you have an idea of these compounds. Now for instance, carbon monoxide, the formula is CO, that means the constituent elements are carbon and oxygen. Is that clear? Similarly, you have nitric oxide, that is NO. Is it clear? Constituent elements are N, and nitrogen and oxygen. Then nitrous oxide, N2O, which is also called the laughing gas. Now it has nothing to do with humor, that you have to make people laugh by this gas, nothing of that sort, but it's a gaseous drug that suppresses the nervous system and makes the person calm and relaxed. It reduces pain and induces a pleasurable feeling. A person feels happy and he has no tension, and absolutely relaxed. Is that clear? Then we have glucose, that is C6H12O6, that is carbon, oxygen and hydrogen are the constituent elements. Then of sugar we have C12H22 and O11. Is that clear? Again the constituent elements are the same, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So similarly there are for ammonium hydroxide, constituent elements are nitrogen, hydrogen and oxygen. So this is how you have to learn the formulas and the constituent elements. Is it clear? So please start learning. Then come to the exercise on the same page, that is page number 83. Okay, then tick the correct option. The Latin name of copper is, yes, it is aurum, cuprum, argentum or ferrum. Yes, it is cuprum. The symbol of iron is Ir, IF or Fe. Yes, just because its Latin name is ferrum. Then which of the following valencies is not possible for copper? It is, of course, copper is having variable valency of 1 and 2. It doesn't have a valency of 3. Which of the following is not a basic radical? Basic means, yes, a positively charged radical. So it is the hydroxide ion. Which of the following elements is not present in the molecular formula of glucose? I have just told you that what is the formula? C6H12O6. So what don't we have in that formula? Sulfur. The correct chemical formula of ammonium sulfate is, yes, ammonium sulfate. That means, how will we write the formula? This has a valency of 1 and this has a valency of 2. They interchange themselves and it becomes NH4 2SO4. Is it clear? Yes. What is the formula? The B1. B option is right. Then matching you do on your own. Is it clear? What is the combining capacity of an atom or a radical? This also do on your own, because these things I have repeated so many times. Then we come to the next topic, that is the chemical equations. What are chemical equations? So a chemical equation is what? It is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction in the form of symbols and formulae, wherein the reactant entities are given on the left side and the product entities are written on the right hand side. Or it is the representation of a chemical reaction with symbols and formulae of the elements and compounds involved in it. Is it clear? Or in very simple terms you can say that it is a short and simple way to represent a chemical reaction. Is it clear? So the chemical the substances that undergo chemical change are called as reactants, and the new substances formed in a chemical reaction are known as the product, which are written on the right side. Is it clear? For instance, in this reaction or any reaction, be it A plus B gives you C plus D. Is it clear? These, that is, are written on the left hand side are known as the reactants. These are the reactants, and the ones written on the right side are known as the products. Is it clear? So this is what a chemical equation is. Next is the example of a reaction where, or this is a bit complicated, so I am not discussing this one with you, just cancelling this out. You have a simple reaction given. So it is given iron plus sulfur gives you iron sulfide. So how will you write? You will represent it as the symbol of iron and sulfur and then the formula FeS. Is that clear? So these are known as the reactants, and this is the product. Is it clear? In the next lecture, inshallah, we'll discuss the rules for writing a chemical equation and how to balance a chemical equation. Please revise the formula properly, how to write the chemical formula. You will be able to do it only when you know the symbols and valencies properly. Allah Hafiz.